Hello guys, it's time for some DeckTech, and this time I will show you my Yurlok, the Scorch Thrash. It's a group ping deck. It's budget. Currently cheapest version is around 40 euros, and I will show you what cards I run in my budget friendly burn deck basically. So we start with card draw. So we have a Faithless Looting, always nice to have some card selection. Skeletal Scrying, sure, I'll die as well, but you know, that's what the deck does. Keen Duelist, great card, loves Strixhaven, deals damage and gets card advantage, that's a really nice card, and you should have some really high CMC spells in this deck, so it fits really well. Silent Blood, of course, I again like Strixhaven, so they're budget friendly. Same goes for Zero Possibility. It's a cheap card, instant speed, yeah, great overall. Blood Pact, card draw, of course. Card I like in basically any 3-color deck that runs black. It's nice, 3 cards. Synergize as well with Yurlok as well. Getting those 3 colors to maximize the card draw. Reader Bones, classic card. Theater of Horrors. It's a card draw, card advantage. See the top card of my deck every turn, an extra card, and also a mana dump if I want to give away mana so I can deal damage to everyone and finish the game. Valakut Exploration. Yeah, again, see cards, can deal damage. Works well with like Cultivate and Harrow and stuff. Harmonize. Siphon Mind. That's a nice 3 cards. Since I can gather a lot of mana, Tower of Fortunes really gives me some card advantage, and also mana dump. You can see later when I take up the damage aspect of the deck, you will see why a mana dump can be very useful. Unexpected Windfall, you know, instant speed, draw this card, get some treasures. Escape into the Wilds, yeah, get some extra land drops. Can use Commander to ramp into this one. And one of the more expensive cards in the deck, Lord Wingrace. Usually I will discard lands to draw cards. Sometimes I can take up cards from the graveyard, and the ulti I will probably never use, but it's still it's a great card. Next up we have Interaction. Artifact Mutation, creates blockers, and yeah, can destroy artifacts. It's a nice card. Destructive Revelry. Yeah, artifact enchantment interaction, instant speed, deals some damage. It's a really nice card. Doomblade. There's better interaction on budget, but I really like the Strixhaven cards, so I try to put as many as I can into my decks. Terminate. You all seen it. It's a great card. Unravel the Ether. It's a great card. Sometimes better to shuffle something into the library instead of just destroying it, so I really like this card. Wilt, basically naturalize with or return to nature with cycling. Really like it. Kamut's Will, again one of the more expensive cards in this deck, really shot up in price. It's a board wipe slash destroying enchantments and artifacts, so with Commander I can do it for 3, and that takes care of a lot of problems. Cross and Grip, again they're better cards, but I really like Strixhaven. Putrefy, same deal here. There's better interaction, but I like Strixhaven. I also like Capenna. It's 7 damage, so I can take out something like low power and deal 6 damage. It's basically trample damage, so I really like this card. Next up we have Sweepers. Massacre Girl. This is a great card on budget, takes care of a lot of things. Escape button. Find Finality. So I can either recur or I can save my commander and give everything -4. So that's a great card. Blasphemous Act, you all seen it, great card. Ingurk's Wake, yeah, it's expensive for sure, but with Yurlok you can get this mana pretty easily, so it's your regular sweeper. Next up, we have Ramp. Goose. Give it food tokens so it can save you, get you some life if you need it, and also Ramp, so it's a nice turn 1 spell. Soul Ring, you all seen it. Arcane Signet, same deal. Belb, because of all the ping stuff you can do in this deck, she can actually generate some mana and also incentivize not to attack you, so this is a fantastic card in this deck, and also if they can't use the mana and have Yurlok out, that's some burn, more damage. An Arcomancer, cool guy, really fits the Jan theme, I think. Cultivate, classic. Harrow, you've seen it. Kodamas Reach, Rolling Regrowth. Svella, this is a more of an interesting card in this deck because I can use it as a mana dump to use the Yurlok mana if I want to give away mana to someone else and create mana rocks. Also a mini Golos on the top end, so it's a cool card. And Skyshard Claim. I run a lot of basics, so I should really, due to the damage aspect of this deck, it has some non-basic hate in it, or a lot of non-basic hate in it, so yeah, this one gets me my forests. Next up, we have what defines the deck. This is besides the land, this is almost half the deck. You got what you need. You got a lot of draw actually. 10 interaction, 4 sweepers, 11 ramp sources. So yeah, I got the core layout done, and this is really the meat and bones of the deck. So of course, Cinder Vines, you ain't playing combo against this guy. Sigil of Pain, basically if I have my commander out, you will either burn for mana burn, or you will take damage for your untapped land, so it's like redundancy in that aspect. Spellshock, yeah, everything's going to hurt, of course. Take damage when you cast spells. Anti-life gain, you can't gain life, and you take a little bit damage each turn. Not a lot, but it keeps the life gain basically. Keeping the life gain away is basically why I run the card. Burning Earth, again, play an expensive deck with lots of duels and stuff, you're taking damage. Hitsugu, it's a blocker, it's a body, so this deck has a bit of a problem with creating blockers, so yeah, it's a 4/4 for 4, that's fine. Sack Outlet if I need to find my answers, and can, you see later, some of the more expensive cards are like 6, 7, 8 mana cards, so yeah, this one can deal a lot of damage. Primal Order, basically Burning Earth. In upkeep you get a damage for each non-basic you have. Spectral Visions, yeah, it can give you some extra card draw, but you take damage when you draw cards, so yeah, make sure you only draw a few cards until you're too late, and then you're dead. One of my favorite cards in the deck, DeckTech Gods. Yeah, so you're looking at some pretty spicy plays with this guy. Can flash him in combat on another player's turn, go to my turn and really burn someone out. Havoc Festival. Again, life gain hate, and if someone has a bazillion health, you can really burn them down quickly with this guy. Really showstopper. Rugthar, of course, fantastic card, really cool guy. Incentivizes to not cast spells, so if you're at low health and this guy drops, yeah, you're gonna have a problem. Also reach and a good blocker for 6. And Karavak, of course, the Merciless. Usually this guy has, in the past games I've played, stayed for far too long. He has done basically a board wipe each turn, or I usually let people decide what to ping, so they usually destroy the board state every time this guy drops, and he's a real monster. So this is the damage of the deck. Here's where the source of damage, like basically where it comes from. It's basically non-basic lands and casting spells. That's what you're gonna get burned for. Meat and bones. Next up, we have the protection in this deck to avoid getting hit because of like the high CMC of the deck and the usually early game ramping. You can need something to protect yourself. And first we have smoke. I usually only want to untap my Yurlok, so this doesn't really hurt me a lot, so it's a great card. Dragon Broodmother. Every turn I get a flying blocker. I usually never use the devour part, but if I'm looking at killing someone, I could just clean up my board and get a massive little guy and kill someone. But it's expensive to cast, of course. Ant Queen. More or less the same thing. Not flying, but I can produce a lot more tokens usually with this guy or this girl. She is a mono dump as well, so if I need to dump my mana for like Citadel of Pain or something, I could always use it. And this guy is the queen. So not a lot of protection, but yeah, usually this deck doesn't do a ton early game, just ramp, and then people don't really care about the enchantment. Taking 2 damage per cast isn't a lot, but everyone attacking everyone and doing damage, dealing damage really speeds up the game for this deck, so helps it a lot. Next up is I run one infinite combo. It's Kodama of the East Tree. When a permanent enters, I can cast something that costs the same or less from my hand unless it entered with that ability. And with a bounce land and rampaging Baloths or Omnath, that is an infinite ETB, infinite landfall trigger, and infinite tokens. I don't have really any ETBs, but I get with Tireless Provisioner, also infinite. I get infinite mana, infinite life, and that I can store. So basically I'm immune to damage. So that's the only infinite combo. I'm running all bounce lands. I run the Golgari Rot Farm, Rakdos Carnarium, and soon also a full art foil Gruul Turf. Still waiting on that in the mail. Next up is some of the more like value oriented stuff. Game enders or game ender. I'm running Comet Storm because of the amount of mana I can produce. This one will close out the game usually late game. Instant speed as well. Everlasting Torment. Again, life gain hate, damage prevention. I don't know, I'll never really come across that, but there's a Griffin, I think, or Archon that gives you Monarch and you can't take damage as long as you're the Monarch, so it gets around a few of those things. I'm not sure how this would interact with Diverse Protection, but I think Diverse Protection would beat this guy because you can't life total can't change. Cut Ribbon, early game interaction, and then there's a Sanguinace or an X, like basically a X damage spell for each opponent. So this one is really good. Keeps it in the graveyard, so they forget about it, and then it's too late. You just burst everyone down. And Prosh. Again, cool creature, cool dragon. Can end games on flying. Get some blockers when you cast it. This is overall a great card. So that's some the value part of the deck. Finally, with the last part, the most boring part, the lands. You've already seen the bounce lands. I'm running a total of 7 non-basics in this. Arc of Araska. And drawing cards, basically. It's a card draw and a mono dump. Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, and Terramorphic Expanse. That is because of all the non-basic hate and all playing green, you get access to cultivating the ramp package, so you can pretty easily color fix if you have green. And these are basically for combo with Kodama. And then I'm running 11 swamps. Or 11, I'm running 8 swamps. Math is hard. I really like the Theros Pokemon lands, so I got those for this deck. Running 9 mountains, also Pokemon lands. Again, I'm stupid, I'm running 8. That's fine, math is hard. I'm playing Yund, so I don't really need math. And I'm running 22 forests. No, I'm not kidding, I'm kidding. 12 forests. I can do math. So that is the deck. And how does it play? Yeah, it plays fine. For a budget deck, it's really like you're playing green, so you get access to a great ramp package on budget. It focuses a lot on card draw, so I can really get the card advantage I need to hit my interaction pieces. And then, yeah, Cineravians will ping everyone, and Svella will ramp you even further. And generally, I got stuff to do with my mana most of the time, so it's a super fun deck. It's like one of my favorite decks I've built. It's not super spicy. It's basically your sort of your typical Yund Yurlok deck, but it's the budget restraints really forces you to think about picking cards, what sort of cards you want. And I'm talking about cheapest version here, not the version I'm running. I think just the lands would be like 30 euros. But yeah, this is the deck I really like to build and really like to play. It's sort of budget, sort of ends games, because usually, or not usually, but at lower power levels, I kind of like the lower power levels, running into the trouble of games taking forever, and having as many clocks as this deck has, usually people start to sweat around turn 6-ish. And I know that's not really fast for a high level or high power deck, but for a budget friendly low power deck that's interesting and creative, I think that Yurlok is a super interesting pick, and for sure one of my top 3 decks of my current like 25 decks that I'm running. That's about it, guys. Take care.